first time that I'm going live on this YouTube channel. Just testing it out. I've been mostly going live on TikTok. My TikTok service actually gets restored in 24 and a half hours. I'll be able to go live on TikTok again, which is where I usually go live. And I will say, it's actually been pretty cool because when you go live on TikTok, well, random people can just join. Going live like this, sure, people can join, but it's a little more challenging to get people to join here on YouTube from my past experience, because in the past, my experience has been more so going live for like streaming something. The big thing about YouTube Live is that the recording is available instantly. So it is sort of intended on YouTube that your go live will stay on the channel. The other thing about TikTok is they just send it to random people. They get it on viewers, and I'm honestly kind of doing this to see if there is anyone who even comes on. Like, I can see a viewer count on here that is still at 0, whereas like TikTok, I would have people coming. My whole thing with the TikTok was that I did unfortunately say a word. I said I was going to block the word, but they just have bots similar to YouTube, apparently even worse than YouTube, where I said a word that rhymes with maggot because someone in the comment was doing that. And it's hard because you do have to moderate, and I don't have any moderators. I don't have any friends yet who can moderate for me. I actually created an alternate account where I would actually go ahead and get my alt account to do the moderation, where I'll be able to actually clearly see the comments and stop the people who use the word maggot, except, you know, the full word. So we're just going to see if anyone joins. I do have 81 subscribers as of this moment, so thank you for that. All of you watching my weekly videos, that really is the main use for YouTube, is to have these videos. And maybe when I have more subscribers, honestly, I can do this more and get more people. I guess the one thing I would talk about is the Discord issue, but I just pretty much talked about that. I don't want to do things negative. This week's video is already out. So there was that. Update on my scam, that room scam. I talked about a room scam in one of my videos. Unfortunately, the bank has decided to not give me my $700 back because, we got some people joining. That was unexpected. How do we go from 0 to 19 people? And we got some comments coming, don't we? Hey Zoe, hey Mike. So if you guys got any questions for me, you can go ahead and ask them. I'm primarily doing this the same way I was doing it on TikTok. I'll talk, but if anyone's got all sorts of questions for me about what it's like being a furry or a fursona, you can go ahead and ask them, and I'll read them in the comments. Main reason I'm doing this on YouTube is I'm much more familiar with YouTube live streams, and my Facebook live streams will unlock. Can I see through this? Kind of. You know, it's actually pretty... I've actually got one of the heads with better vision than other people. It's a funny story, like I talked about in one of my week videos, just how before I had the fursuit, I actually had gone to a fur meet where I was like, surely it can't be that bad. And they asked me to be a handler for them. And it can't be that bad. So I was really easy. I was really not leading them, and they started tripping all over people. And I was like, really? And now that I actually have a head, then I can tell you that, yes. Like, one of the biggest things is, if you could tell, my eyes are... I got to work on looking at this side, too. But you really got to work on your eyes. Like, if I look like this, I cannot see the phone at all if I look like this. Because this head's actually got pretty decent vision compared to other heads that I've seen, but you still can't see right in front of you. Some people will actually use the mouth to see, but I don't have that ability, even once it's fitted. It's been fitted, so I do see better than I used to, as of a couple weeks ago. Like, I can see, if I just go like this, then I can see the comments. But, you'd be surprised. It is actually, once you figure out how to work it, just go like this. Like, you see a lot of people making all those movements, and one reason that they do that is to actually just sort of keep the head straight, but still be able to see, like the screen. So, yeah, I can see through this. There's certain ways of fursuiting that you can definitely, that I've definitely been getting used to. I've had my fursuit for 1 month now. The head, I've learned. I went to a fur bowl, which is basically a bowling where I had my fursuit on, I had my tail on, and I had my paws on. And that was an experience. The other thing is, when you go to fur bowl, apparently you leave your poles on. So I had to bowl with my hands like open. Hey, Spacer. Hey, Philip. So Philip is actually one of the YouTubers I've been watching. He's someone in the Discord server, so shout out to you. Where did I get this? So this suit I actually bought from, it had one previous owner. I forgot the name, but I do know I do know the name of the maker now. The maker got in contact with me with a couple weeks ago because I was thinking about getting foot paws, but this was actually came from a previous owner. I got it used for $1,000. It's never really been used online, so essentially it is attached to the name Shadow now. I know it was seen at a couple of events from the previous owner, who was local, so I did actually get to see the suit, try it on before I paid for it. I kind of got it for a steal because everyone's complimenting this suit, and I only paid $1,000 for it. The head, the tail, the paws, and I got the art that came along with it. But I use the name Shadow now. I am new to the fandom. As of yet, I only have this one suit. I do plan to eventually get a second suit. This suit is not my final design. My final design, I've shared it in some of my other previous videos, actually. The final design of Shadow will be a blue suit with like yellow highlights and orange down the middle. Probably it would be a full, I'm going to be honest, one of the reasons I'm doing this and starting this is I want to eventually get a full body suit, and that would be the final design. But a lot of people do have multiple suits. So yeah, everyone's complimenting this suit. I could definitely see myself, even after buying the full body suit for my main design, I could definitely see changing the name of this guy, changing the name of Shadow, or picking a new name for my new persona. And people do have two personas. I could absolutely see myself with two personas and two fursuits. A partial for really, really hot days like this, and a full body suit for cons. Hey, Reagan. VR chat. VR chat is something I am new to. I do have multiple skins in VR chat. My favorite is actually one that's not a wolf at all. It's something called a dowser. It's got like 4 ears, and I did start with what was a basic fox. Ironically, the basic fox was the most customizable, so he wore like a shirt that you could change to look similar. I was able to change similar to get to my persona, but the dowser just looked the coolest, even though you couldn't change the colors, the black and the yellow and the tail and the horns. It just looked really cool. It is my main persona until I get a custom of Shadow, which I have been talking to people about doing. It's expensive, but until then, I really like the dowser avatar that I'm using, and he does go by the name of Shadow in there as well. He might still be Sunray right now, but I'll change it to Shadow if he is. You have 2 personas, Philip. Yeah, I would say I probably have 3 personas right now. Basically, this is based on a television show idea I had, where my guess is that this one I'm wearing right now would essentially become the alpha. I would have to pick a new name for him, but he would become the alpha. Then there's my main character of that TV show, which is of course Shadow, who I plan to give the blue suit when I do eventually get it. And then there's a third character who's kind of like a rival to Shadow. And you could, honestly, I could make a whole pack of wolves out of this Shadow, but those are 3 mains. And then there is a girl as well, but kind of hard to wear a suit of a girl to identify as a man. But there are 3 characters that I could absolutely make 3 suits out of if I ever really want to. I definitely want 2. I definitely want this one to be the alpha and the custom to me being in the future. So I definitely am going to eventually create 2 characters. I'm 2 new right now, so right now, even though this will be the alpha someday, right now this is identified as my main persona, Shadow. But if you see the art, it's always blue. So Debbie, as I just explained, I don't have names for this one, but I do have the persona. They're under development. I do have a persona with like a backstory. Essentially, I'm working on the backstory right now. I'm retooling it from my current story, which is a human who's transformed into that. I felt that kind of gave Therian vibes, and I'm not a Therian, so I kind of changed it so that it's a lone wolf now who wants to join packs, which still works for me because that's the whole reason I'm doing this, to try to get myself out there, try to make more friends. So, but honestly, the lone wolf story still works really, really well. But then you'd have the alpha, and like I said, so I basically could, the way I see it, I could work on having 3. I do have 2 designs at least. I have this one, and I have the one that I'm creating. And then there is actually one other design now that I think about it. That was the original Sunray, which you would have seen in the week 2 or the week 3 video I was showing here on YouTube. That was like the yellow one. The one I described as an Isekai one. Philip, I did not know you had a wolf persona. We'll have to talk about that in the Discord later. All right, you have a good time too, Raygun. I was expecting 0 viewers, so this is... I think it's because I added... I'm learning tips and tricks. I think it's because I added the hashtag furry to this. So it is my intention to do this live. It is my intention to use YouTube Live at basically fur cons. Once I have more subscribers, that's going to be great because, as I've said in my videos, I plan to go live at Furpocalypse. At Furpocalypse, I'll be volunteering, so I'm not sure how much I'll get to go live. But I'm not volunteering at Anthro, New England in January, so I will have plenty of time to go live there. I'll be trying to do a lot of live streams there. And TikTok's been challenging. I don't have any sort of moderator. I do think that I'm just so much more familiar with YouTube Live because I've done it previously on my old account, which isn't hiding anymore. The B Sparrow Z account. I flat out told all the subscribers there, come over to the new account because that's going to be used for personal videos. But I'm throwing all my focus into the Sunray account now because that's what I want to do here on YouTube. And then Facebook Live is another thing I'm very familiar with, and that should activate in about 2 weeks. Yeah, my persona's profiles are going to hit 60 days soon, so that's another option. But my TikTok does restore tomorrow night, so tomorrow night I'll be able to go live on TikTok again. The whole thing with TikTok is pretty much anyone can watch. You don't have to be a sub. I think on YouTube you can search now, though. Boop. Boop. I don't know what that is. Hey, Lila. Is it Lila? Sorry, Lila. Yeah, Vision. For small text like this, it's a challenge. One of the things I'm going to do when I go back live on Discord tomorrow night to not get tricked is I do actually have my computer, an alternate account, an old account. The old B Sparrow Z account is now called Shadow Mod, and it's basically going to be on my computer the whole time I stream live on my phone on Discord, sorry, not Discord, on TikTok tomorrow night. I'm going to have the second account as a moderator with like the big comments in big letters so that I can actually see them. I could do that right now. Honestly, I could probably learn how to do it here on YouTube. I could probably make the B Sparrow Z account on this. But the advantage of YouTube is it doesn't show this to just anyone. Obviously, you could still get haters in here, but I only have 80 subscribers right now, 81 subscribers right now versus all the followers I have on TikTok. It's been really surprising just how many. It's because I had one video. That video that's only got 1,000 views here has got 21,000 or 22,000 views now over on TikTok. The one of me and my dog. My dog discovered me. It just, I don't know. It just kind of blew up on there. So that's how I got so many followers on TikTok so fast. So we got 4 likes. That's cool. So this is going better than I did. So if you got questions, I mean, that's why I'm doing this, trying to interact with my subscribers. But if other people come across this, then like, comment, subscribe my YouTube channel, because I'm definitely going to be, I'm still doing these weekly videos for the first year, basically describing my descent into the furry fandom. So there are images. I don't think I've uploaded the final image onto YouTube yet. I will do that after the stream. I do have actually an artist named Tim Lake Cheetah made a reference sheet of the final design of my main persona. As I said, he's got like a blue suit with yellow highlights. It's hard to describe, but I will definitely upload to my YouTube channel the final design of my my 2.0 version of my second persona. So I did actually, to answer your question, design my own persona. This came from someone else. It's because I wanted a fursuit in time for Apocalypse in October. Nobody would have been able to complete one in time for Apocalypse, and it would have been a risk. And at that time, I had not finished my design. But yes, I did actually design my own persona. I'll share it after this live stream. But that was completely my design. Someone else drew it, but I've shown in my own videos all the different designs I did. I probably spent days working on that design to come to that final design that I now have, that I want to make into a fursuit in the future. Foxpy. So Foxpy, I did actually kind of only plan this a couple of hours in advance. My original plan was to actually do this last night, but for some reason, despite the fact it's 24 hours, the live stream had actually not unlocked. I just realized a few hours ago that I was going to be able to stream tonight, so I went ahead with the original 6 p.m. time slot. That's the time I've been doing it for now. I can absolutely adjust that. I can change that. If all you subscribers out there have like a better time that works for you, let me know. I want to do a time slot that let people interact with me at the best time. Something I still got to figure out. And maybe like do a different time slot. As I said, I'm planning to do 2 videos. I could absolutely do multiple time screens if some days work better than others for some people. I could absolutely do multiple time streams a week, like I'm going to do on Discord. I mean, ultimately, these streams are for my subscribers and when I'm on TikTok for my followers. Huh. Yeah, so Debbie, I've talked about this in one of my previous videos too. My parents were originally a little... I know that a lot of furries out there don't get support from their parents. And that's so unfortunate about that. I talked about how because I was autistic, I was teased as a kid. But even then, my parents were always very understanding. So they were a little iffy about this, but more because they were feared what could happen to me. But they have been kind of supportive. Once they saw this was something I was passionate about and something that I really wanted to do and something that could honestly help me grow, they sort of were, they were like, okay, try it. You know, if you're really this passionate about going to. So I do have very supportive parents. They could be a little overprotective sometimes, but supportive. So they know about this, and I guess I got lucky. It was a little iffy at first telling them that I was going to be a furry, and they were like, what? Why? But they've kind of come around to it once they saw that. It's been helping me. Let's see what else we got here. We're getting a lot of comments now. $8 a.m. 8 a.m., Philip. Or you must have just woken up. Or, I don't remember. Are you one of the third shift workers, Philip? Or did you just wake up? Let's see. Yeah, I do have a Discord. Tabitha, thanks for the sub. I'm actually in the Discord of a YouTuber, a much more popular YouTuber called Finn the Panther. I'll go ahead and plug him. So if you ever want to talk to me in Discord, I do have that. I am in the Finn the Panther Discord. You do have to be 18 to join, though. Unfortunately, it is an adult server. You got to be very respectful. You don't have to be. I mean, the whole reason I joined that server is he's great. Everyone in there is so nice, so respectful. They were welcoming to me as a brand new furry to the fandom. I've only been a furry for 2 months, but they welcomed me. They've been helping me out a lot, get involved in the fandom. It's nice to be able to talk to them, hang out with some of them in VR chat. As I said, Philip is actually one of the people I met in there. Started watching his YouTube streams. Shout out to him as well. Go watch him. We're trying to grow each other's audience. We're even talking about doing a collab in the future, hopefully. So you just woke up. Foxy, that's a good idea. I can go ahead and... oh, I don't have a Discord channel for this YouTube. I could go ahead and... I think if I put my Discord somewhere here, so that you can add me. I have made Discord channels before. I could definitely do that, but primarily when I'm on Discord, I'm in the Panther channel. And what did Philip say? Philip said, the moving mouth. Yeah, a lot of people are jealous of the moving mouth. I talked about this also in one of my stories, but this took some adjusting. I talked earlier about how I had to have the head adjusted to fit me, but that also meant the moving mouth. Because my chin did basically the way it works is my chin moves the mouth. And my chin, because the head did not fit, was not making contact with the mouth. So the mouth did not move, which was very unfortunate. So now that the head is fitted, I can actually, I'm practicing with it. I'm getting better with it. I can move the mouth. And shockingly, it's been okay. There was an issue where the mouth would stay open if I didn't make like big enough movements or something, but that doesn't seem to be an issue. Yeah, it seems to be closing all the way here. No, Fox, I could certainly do that, but I am going to have to verify that. I'm just going to have to verify somehow you're 18. I don't talk to people, as a rule of thumb, I don't talk to people. We have had an issue before. I don't talk to people who are under 18. Just so you're aware. I mean, here on live stream, I have no way of verifying that, but I can definitely. One unique thing about YouTube over TikTok is I can actually go back and read the live comments when the stream is over, because this video will stay up and it will basically have a normal comment section, but I know you can also view the live comments when the live stream ends. Now, we got to 7 likes. That's good. Probably because I used the hashtag furry tag there. So, let's see. I can go for a little longer if anyone's got any other questions. As I was said, I think this was definitely great. I didn't want to have to talk about my scam so much, but I was talking about how my bank's not going to give me $700 back, but I'm really not letting that bother me anymore, because as I talked about in my last video, this week was the actual Furpok room reservations, and I got one. I got one of the last 6 rooms, and I know people who didn't, and as unfortunate as it is, I'm just so happy that I actually got one now, being in the main hotel at Furpocalypse. It's going to be my first FurCon, and I'm just so excited. I can't think about that. I can't think about the negative stuff when I've got so much positive stuff going forward. Yeah, I'm going to try to avoid talking to 16-year-olds. I am sorry about that. I already talked to 2 of them, and I've kind of tried to cut off from them as well. Just as a rule of thumb, to be safe, I do try to keep it like even if you wouldn't be able to join the server I'm in because you have to be 18. It's not because it's not safe for work. It's just the general rule. We shouldn't be talking to people 18. You know, I'm not saying that you have to be 18 to be in the fandom. I'm just saying, as a rule of thumb, like online accounts, it's just to keep ourselves protected. We do have to try to stay 18 and older. I mean, it's iffy. Like, I know it sucks, but it's iffy because legally in the United States, you're not an adult until you're 18, so it could be taken the wrong way. So I understand the disappointment there. Like, just talking, it's fine, but if there's some sort of anything can be taken the wrong way these days, as proven by the most recent Discord chat where I said I was going to block a word, the word that rhymes with maggot, and instead an AI bot caught me saying the word, and even though it's completely out of context, banned me for 3 days. That's why I'm here tonight and not. I'm going to be on Discord tomorrow night. I mean, TikTok tomorrow night, which sucks because I was actually having my best stream yet over there. Although this one's going really well, to be honest, for my first one. Debbie, thanks for liking the persona, saying you like my persona. It's great. I mean, 23 months to go, Floofy. You know, that's, I mean, there are other people, but yeah, I know it can be tough for like the younger people who are still essentially probably under their parents. I can't assume to know your situation there. Like, personally, with me, when I was 16, I was still with my parents. I moved out when I was 18 to go to college, basically, and I moved back in, and now I'm finally living on my own solo. So I'm happy about that. Love my parents love me, but I love them, but can't live with them. I've been looking to get out for years. I finally did. And it's just kind of like doing my own thing now. Which honestly, I've been living alone for years, so doing that is actually what's finally allowed me to like try to explore this part of myself, is I'm in control of my time now. We still got 6 people watching. If anyone has any questions, I talked about the result of the scam, which I don't want to really talk about that because that's negativity. We talk about I talked about how I'm going to be volunteering out for Apocalypse. I've in all my YouTube videos. If you subscribe and if you like this, you can go subscribe. My main YouTube videos are scripted. I'm also posting videos of fursuiting. I just posted 2 new fursuiting videos last night from last week when I was on vacation. They are the TikTok versions of the videos. I also do plan tonight maybe or tomorrow night to post the pictures that did not go on TikTok. I plan to do a full combo video with some royalty-free music and put that up here with every picture from the vacation, and not just the 18 that went into two TikToks, you know. And then the TikTok live streams are downloaded and posted here as well. If you're into this sort of live stream, I know those are posted. The third one, because of what happened, is not going to be able to be posted, but the first 2 were. So, Philip, I am not going to say exactly where I am. I could tell you that later in the Discord. As a rule of thumb, I just say I am in the Providence, Rhode Island area. We'll say I'm within 30 minutes of Providence, Rhode Island. I'm more than happy to tell you later in the Discord where I'm at, but I am in the general Providence area, somewhere within 30 minutes of Providence, Rhode Island. Rhode Island's a pretty small state, so should give you a pretty good idea. So around here we have, and I've told stories about this group before too, the Rhode Island Furs. They are actually, I've heard kind of like horror stories of there not being any active furry groups around, but the Rhode Island Furs are shockingly active. Like, I have an event with them this weekend where we're going to an ALS walk in the memory of a furry named Dog Bomb, and he was like a local furry who died because of ALS. So it's an ALS walk. That is going to be fursuit friendly. So I will be in my fursuit. If you're one of my subscribers who is here in Rhode Island, I'll be there at the ALS walk, definitely. That's happening at, I believe, Bryant University. So I'm going to be there. My Rhode Island Furs actually have a team that's doing donations. So like if you're into donating for that stuff, you can go to the Rhode Island Furs Facebook page, and I think they have a donation link there for our team to kind of donate to the ALS charity that we're doing. But yeah, I'll be donating there. I'm planning to probably go to a fur bowl down in Connecticut, in Hamden, with the Connecticut group of furries, and wear my fursuit there. If not, then I know that in Warwick, in a little over a week in Warwick, next Saturday, there's one in Warwick that I'm going to be at. And then a couple weeks after that, Royal Island Furs have their actual fur bowl. I was at their fur bowl a couple of weeks ago. Usually go to the park first. I usually don't suit at the park, but I always suit at the fur bowl. So I'm excited to do that again because now I've gotten the hang of this, and now that the head is fitted correctly, I think I'm going to bowl a little bit better. No. I'm not mad at you. I just got to be... I'm not mad at you for being a minor, you know? Absolutely. If you want to watch the video, that's fine. I just got to be careful. I got to be careful. It's not my rules. It's not my Discord server. I'm just a member in it, so I don't make those rules. But no. What were you saying? Went to a fur meet last night. So I have shockingly only ever been to one fur meet. I talked about this in my week 3 video. It was the one where I essentially decided I was going to buy a fursuit, and I wasn't going to wait the 6 months like I originally planned, because my second week of being a furry, this suit actually came up for sale on the Rhode Island Fur site, and I hadn't even seen anyone in the fursuit. I used to be scared of, or I think I used to be scared of furries. Now I'm not so sure that I was actually scared of them. Not of furries, of mascots in general. Which makes no sense, seeing as a little kid, my mom was the Easter Bunny in a full-body bunny suit, and I liked that, so I don't know where that came from. I really do think that maybe I just lied and said it was fear, when in reality it was jealousy, because at my first fur meet, everyone arrived like not in their suits. They arrived, and then about an hour into the fur meet, they all started putting their fursuits on, and I wasn't scared. I was actually really, really excited to finally get to see it, and walking around with them, it was kind of cool, and it was making me jealous. And I realized about 15 minutes after walking around with them, I really did want to do this. I really did want to get a suit. And that night, I actually reached out to the person and said, hey, is this suit still available? And they said yes. And I was like, I want to buy it. So, and it's been totally worth it. Even though I'm a new fursuiter, so I've only had it for like a month, I have just loved doing it. I loved fursuiting on the King of Magus Highway. Talked about in the last week's video, either this week's video or last week's video, how so many people wanted pictures with me on the King of Magus Highway. The first night I was scared, so I was like taking the head off, putting the head on, taking it off fast, taking the picture fast, tearing it right back off. Third day, I was more confident. I had it on for longer periods of time, and I got stopped 3 times for photos. So I can't share those because they have other people in them, but there are now 3 people out there with photos of me in my fursuit, which is kind of interesting to think of. I wonder where they are. And I did add the hashtag King of Magus Highway, so maybe they find me. You never know. I didn't tell them I had a YouTube. Yeah, Philip, you're probably right about that. It does get easier when you know the people. I would say the advantage was, in that case, was I had been hanging out with them for about 30, 40 minutes before they put their suits on. We'd been hanging out talking. At that point in time, I was only in the fandom for 3 weeks, so it was still kind of weird. But like I talked about in that video, it was initially like they were walking around in fursuits and I was just following them. I didn't understand just how bad vision could be until I put this on. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Like they were following me on the way back to the. And I thought, no, surely they can't be following me. I had heard stories of like someone being essentially, had a mascot handler is to a mascot, essentially a spotter for their fursuits, and I was like, no, if these guys are experienced, they must be okay. But there were at least 2 instances where I thought, no, they're all set, and didn't look where, and didn't direct them. And one case they bumped into a kid, and the other case they all tripped over something. So I was like, after that. And I will say, as far as wearing the suit goes, I did wear the suit 3 times at night when I first got it to try to practice wearing it, seeing how long. I will not do that again, because on the 3rd night, I was out there, and I decided to take, instead of walk down the street as I had been doing, I decided, and then up the back one, I decided to walk back up the main street, and I ended up tripping over a fire hydrant. And I was like, oh dear. And I took the head off, and that was it. I was like, no more walking around this area. without like some sort. So generally, I do try to hang out with people now, even in the park. Like all the TikToks you see, I'm out there with friends. There's like 3 or 4 of us at a time. We're all together. Usually, someone's spotting the other ones that are wearing the suit, or we just generally know the place a lot better. So yeah, the vision issue in this is real. Like I said earlier, if I just look at the phone like this, I can't. Literally got to look this way. I keep looking this way. I got to look this way a little bit too. Or some people can get really good at being like this, and like I can see the comment a little bit if a new one pops in. Hey, Morgunkorn. So Morgunkorn is actually one of the people I've been talking to on not Discord. Oh yeah, Discord. He's a Discord, not TikTok. So he's one of the other people in the Discord server I'm in. In fact, he's actually one of Finn's Is he a Patreon? Yeah, he is. He's in the Patreon chat, so he's one of the Patrons. I really appreciate. Talked about how in my videos, how much I appreciate that Finn the Panther YouTuber, because he is. Essentially, I've talked about how there's a reaction video of an Ethan Nestor video on here. I have watched it back. I know it was very loud, and so you can't really hear my reactions. But it was basically my reaction. To kind of summarize that, it was my reaction. I watched it 9 months ago when it came out, and now watching it back as a fursuiter, it does hit very differently. Very, very differently than I expected it to. I thought it would just hit me again, like reinforce everything I had learned, but in reality, it's like seeing all these different things is like, it just really, really kind of hit me differently as a fursuiter and a furry. I guess it basically, as hard as it hit a couple months ago, that I really didn't really know what a furry was. Now that I've been a furry for 2 months, it hit even harder now. And got me really thinking. And essentially, honestly, confirmed that becoming a furry was the right choice. But it was ultimately the Finn the Panther, as I've said before. I went into his Discord server expecting to try it out for a couple of weeks, maybe. And within a couple of days, I was like, no, let's make a plan. Let's try 6 months. Within 3 weeks of being in there and like talking to furries, I was like, you're not stopping this. You're not stopping this. You're here. The inner wolf has been released. That wolf that has been in my head for 12 years. You're not gonna put him back in now that he's free, essentially. So that's what it comes to. It was just a great way to get started in the furry fandom, because I've gotten myself in so many groups now that I have so many chances to go to fursuit events, or like I said, my original plan was to go to Anthem, New England as my first furry convention, but they mentioned for Apocalypse, and I was like, why not? Why not? Let's go there. And I got a hotel room for that, so definitely happening. And that will, because it's my first con, as I said, there won't be too much live streaming to YouTube here, because I'll be volunteering at that FurCon to sort of get myself involved even more, to meet more people in the area. Although I have been in the Apocalypse chat with several volunteers and talking with them, so I do sort of already have some connections. Like there's going to be a friendly rival. I'm going to be in the Bucket Brigade. So there's a friendly rivalry between me and someone else who normally gets a lot of donation money. But what he doesn't know is I always won the donation, like the selling cookies or ad booklets. I always won that in high school. I was great at getting donations. That's yet another part of me that I forgot about that is coming back out. A lot of the parts of me that I forgot about are coming back out. I'm practicing dancing. I would love to do a dance competition someday. Singing, not so much. on VR chat, I'll do furry karaoke, but I'm a better dancer than I am a singer, so I could definitely see myself doing a dance competition someday. That's kind of like a long-term goal. I think it's too late to enter the dance comp at Furpocalypse. Plus, I'm too new to the suit to do that yet. But you never know. Maybe enter New England. If not, I'm going to do it at some point. A dance competition. Okay, here we go. Oh, good, good. Thanks for installing TikTok to see my content there. Even while my live is down, I am still uploading TikToks. It does still let me do that. These changes, I understand. Home with the furries. Yeah, I'm gonna say, as far as feeling at the home with the furries, I've gotten to be myself for the first time in over a decade. Like, honestly, maybe the reason I came up with that wolf character was because I was starting to lose myself, and that wolf character was myself trying to get out, and it's like, it's out now, you know, like, I'm remembering who I used to be, like I said, dancing, having fun, not worrying about things, very positive all the time. Past couple years, I've been very negative, so, and it's been helping my real life, too, because I am more positive when the suit is off. I could think, what would Shadow do? And I mean, I got a new job out of that. I kept asking myself, is the right thing to leave this job? And the answer was yes, to be honest. Got a new job, start that in 2 weeks. So that's great. My body already feels better being back on first shift. So yeah, this is already having a major positive impact on my real life. I've just seen my social skills skyrocket. You want to see me dance, huh? As far as dancing goes, I will say I'm not ready to do it yet, but especially since I only have... The whole issue is, if I did it here on YouTube, I would get copyright striked. I'm already getting so many copyrights, but you know, maybe some point. I'm trying to choreograph a full routine to the song "Photograph" by Def Leppard, and even then, it's not absolutely necessary because, like, I watched the Anthrocon dance competition this year. They only get about 90 seconds, so I shouldn't even have to choreograph the whole song. I should only pick... something I've done this week is try to pick, like, what would the best 90 seconds of the song be, and cut it all together and choreograph that. But I do have ideas for moves to kind of, like, go nuts and refine them. YouTube Music Library is training. That's actually an idea. Or one thing I said, like I'm gonna do with the YouTube, the TikToks there using the copyrighted music that TikTok is allowed to use. But like one thing I did on my ski videos, or what I'm gonna do with the video that I'm gonna upload here to YouTube with all the other pictures is, I do actually have a program with some pretty killer royalty-free music. There's nothing up on here yet, but like if you go to the B0Z channel and look at one of the ski videos, one of the edited ski videos, there's some pretty killer music in there that you could do. And that's just for the ones from my program. There are definitely royalty-free songs out there that I could practice with on YouTube. Or like Philip said, I could look and see what YouTube music there is. That would be... The problem with YouTube music, though, is I have had things in the past where it does change, and where if you pick a YouTube song it may stick around for a couple of years on YouTube Music, and then it leaves YouTube Music. I had a song by Creed. Creed used to be on YouTube Music, and Creed left YouTube Music, and because of that, they basically had to replace the music on all the videos that had Creed in it. So that's the problem with YouTube Music. They're not actually royalty free. Unless it's changed. It's been a couple of years, I will say that. Yeah, dancing is definitely, or when it comes down to it, honestly, none of these copyrighted have actually gotten me a strike, which is kind of interesting because there are full songs, like if you listen to TikTok streams. So I'm still kind of good. They just copyrighted so that it can't be monetized, which is weird because TikTok, even when you use those songs, you can still monetize it. Like, I've made 3 cents off TikTok. Or I would have if they hadn't stopped that stream. I would have made 3 cents off of it. Which is not a lot, but it's still kind of crazy to think that I almost made money off TikTok. Well, have we really been going for 51 minutes? Hi, King124 official. So just the fact that we've been able to go for 51 minutes shows how reduced I've gotten to. It is a cooler day out here, so I don't have the AC going. But like 51 minutes for me, this is normal now. It's the longest I've ever gone is 2 hours in the head, and I'm not wearing the pause. I'll be honest, I'm not wearing the pause because I want to like be able to control the phone. But that 2 hours, maybe more like 3 hours, was the first fur bowl, and I was in the paws and the tail and head for about at least 2 hours, possibly 3. I don't know the exact amount of time, but that's going to have to be what's going to happen at fur bowl. And I know they have like the headless rooms, but I'm seeing how far can I push myself in this? How long can I go? What is my limit? And so far, like I remember the first night, I couldn't even handle 20, 30 minutes in this thing. Now we're at 52 minutes and I'm actually fine, you know? So I'm really liking this. I'm definitely getting more used to being in a fursuit than I was a month ago. King, you're not the first person to say that. Everyone seems to love this suit. Like, part of me almost doesn't want to go to my custom design. And if I do, like, I'm 99% sure I'm going to keep this suit because everyone just seems to love it. Some people are jealous of the moving mouth. I guess that's not a very common thing, is the moving mouth. Like, even, which is interesting. I would think more people would want that. But it works out also. I know some people also like to kind of stay silent in their suit, while a lot of people don't really talk in their suit, unless they're on my YouTube. I love talking in my suit. So, like, at that first fur bowl, a lot of people were just staying silent, and I tried to practice that, but I am very talkative, so I love the moving my mouth because it means I can talk. Right, not common. Well, that makes me even more special, and it means that, honestly, it also means even when I do get the custom suit, I'm probably going to pay the extra to get a movable mouth on that, too. I love the movable mouth, and would probably pay extra on my custom suit to get a movable mouth, too. I've learned so much about fursuiting, like, I know the teeth haven't been an issue, but if you look, the teeth are kind of cloth here, so they can get stuck sometimes. Like, if I was ever to make an upgrade to this suit, the 2 major upgrades that still need to be made are, right now, the mouth is actually an elastic, not a spring. An elastic and a screw. It's doing okay. Like, if I ever get a movable mouth, I'm definitely going to get a more spring-activated one. It's a little easier to push down and always comes back. Also, the teeth should be plastic so that they don't get stuck. Although, I gotta say, this one's been doing pretty okay. I haven't seen the mouth open that much. It could just be that I'm getting so good at like big movements to the mouth, and always quickly snapping my mouth back up so that it doesn't get stuck. But yeah, it's crazy how much I know about this mask now. Its biggest change, the only change it's really had, its biggest change is that the head is. I had a previous strap in here that was very, I don't want to say bad, but this new strap in here, that it just fits me so much better. It's so much more comfortable. It can help me wear this longer without the head drooping down. Essentially, the old strap, my head would droop like this. You could probably see it if you go back and watch the older YouTube videos, how it basically stays on now. I don't have to go like this every single time that I want to talk, or because it stays in here. That's a good question. So, to answer your question first, your second question first, Dakaden, I know some people do identify this. I personally do not identify as a Therian. That's what you're saying. I know, as a previous person who did not understand furries, I also made the wrong assumption that every furry, or most furries were Therian. That's not the case. I do still identify as a human. When I put this on, I'm basically playing a character. So as to why I do it, it's because I like to play this persona, essentially. I see this persona as an idealized version of myself. When I put this on, it's like I get a confidence boost. I get to be someone else, and someone who doesn't really care what other people think. It's a great confidence boost, and that's honestly why I do it. But it's something I really love doing. I've only been doing it for 2 months, but I really love doing it. So that's why I do it, And it's been helping me IRL because I can take this confidence I learned, as I said earlier, back to my real life. Oh boy. Okay, so that suits are just kind of, so only about 10% of the fandom actually has suits. I knew if I was going to do this, I was going to go full force. It was honestly, fursuiting was honestly one of the things that interested me about the furry fandom. I knew I know you don't require one. I know that only about 10% of the fandom has them. I knew if I was going to join the fandom, I was going to be one of that 10%, because I thought it was going to be in 6 months, but I was just so excited to do it that I couldn't wait any longer. So I got a fursuit. Well, it's just something, as I said, I'm really enjoying it, and it's been helping. Role-playing, it's a little I know a lot of people compare this to cosplaying. I guess you could say role-play. The difference between this and cosplay, for example, is it's a character that you create. Now, granted, I did adopt this design from someone, but this design is still carrying my character, my fursona, my furry persona. That's why they call it a fursona. So it is a character that I created with elements of myself essentially in it. But yes, it is still a persona that I play. So you could say that it is kind of role-playing. But I'm playing an idealized version of myself. Yeah, so I do understand the whole not being able to. I can't. You said physically can't afford to sleep. Yeah, I understand that. I will say that financially, I am in a decent position where I could do this. But even now, like, if I want to do a full body suit or my own custom suit, that's something I got to save up money for. So finding this was really lucky. This was 1,000, and this is used. As far as physical, if you meant that, ironically, one of the reasons I did this for my join the furry fandom to do a fursuit is because it is actually making me. I'm walking every day now, not in the suit, but walking every day, trying to eat healthier. Because if I ever want to get a full body suit, I'm gonna need to get healthier. So, yet another way that this is actually impacting my real life is I've forced myself to get healthier, to like cut down on sugar and everything, and to eat better. Because someday, that's how bad I wanted to do a full suit. I've actually forced myself to get physically healthier so that I can do that someday. Or even just so that I can wear this. All the activity has honestly helped me over the past 2 months last longer in this. So funny you should ask that, Morgan. I actually have not yet gotten a hug in the fursuit, which is kind of shocking because outside the fursuit, other furries have actually hugged me and they've given me head pats. In the fursuit, I have actually gotten a head pat twice. I have not yet gotten a fursuit hug. I'm definitely expecting some, though, when I go to FurCon. Like, I know when I go to FurCon, I really got to prep myself because when I go to FurCon, I know there's going to be a lot of stuff that I've seen that I haven't experienced yet. That's when I'm trying to experience that right now. But yeah, head pats has been an experience that I had both in and out of the suit. I'm okay with that. It felt a little weird the first time someone head patted me, but honestly, I wasn't mad. They didn't ask permission, but I wasn't mad about it. I kind of liked it. And I'm actually real friends with that person outside the suit now. That was the first person I became friends with IRL. In fact, I think he's subscribed to me here on YouTube. Well, Q&A once I reach 100. Honestly, that's kind of why I'm doing live streams right now. These live streams are for Q&A, essentially. So if anyone ever has any questions, like I said, I'll try to schedule live streams in the future. Now that I know that live streaming is working, I will definitely schedule live streams, and that will be your chance to do a Q&A with me. Eventually, right now, I don't have an issue with answering any questions. We don't have a large amount of subscribers where I essentially have to gatekeep it with pay periods right now. So right now, people who watch, like we've got 4 people watching right now. And anyone who's got questions, or honestly, you could comment on one of my videos. Could do that. If you ever got a question for me to answer, I could absolutely do like a Q&A section at the end of every weekly video I do where I can answer any questions anyone has. Any respectful questions, that is. But yeah, I'm up for the challenge. If anyone ever leaves me a question or anything like that, I'll answer that. Or I can definitely see myself doing more live streams here in addition to back on TikTok when my live access is restored. two weeks ago. You got your first hug 2 weeks ago. So I haven't got my first hug yet. I think, honestly, a fursuit hug is the only thing I haven't gotten yet. Like, I'm just expecting that at some point. I hadn't gotten photos until last week, but well, I got the photo at the Fur Bowl too, but that was more planned. Whereas the one last week was like kind of impromptu, just out of nowhere, unplanned, and I was all for it, you know. And that's another thing. Someone has given me a hug actually outside of the suit, and that would be my friend. Literally a couple days ago when I went to my second photo shoot for this suit. Pictures are up already for that. And then we're going to go probably one more time later this week for a third photo shoot. So I could try to live stream that. And those are all up on my TikTok too. Really, King. So, who was your friend that sent me? My channel was honest. This channel was honestly first created 7 weeks ago. I decided I wanted to do a documentation. Essentially, Finn the Panther has this thing called Furry for 30, where he like does guides. For me, I wanted to do something similar, except I did Furry for 52, which is my first year in the fandom. Every week I talked about it. Except the first week was weeks 1 and 2 because I been a furry for 2 years. And then, of course, that week 2 video and a week 4 video just, they did not come out well. And I was like, this is not what my persona should sound like. So I reshot those. So those older videos, they're still here, but they're in like a separate playlist. Whereas the week where 1, 2, 3, 4 videos were reshot as it's a little confusing right now because I used the name Sunray. That was not the final name. The final name, I can tell you for sure that Shadow Moonray is the final name for my persona. So all videos going forward, I will refer to myself as Shadow. Anytime I referred to myself as Sunray or Moonray in the past, it was because I had not actually decided a final persona name, which I now have. Like the refugee I'll upload when the stream is done does flat out say Shadow Moonray. It's official now. And like I've changed the name of the YouTube channel to match. Okay. Well, not to hit what we went over 1 hour. I did not expect to be going for this long. We've gone at this point longer than any of my live TikTok streams have. Probably because my live TikTok streams, like that third one, I probably could have gone for over an hour if it hadn't been stopped. But the other important thing about that is I could go for longer when I get questions like this, when I can actually interact with people for longer periods of time, then that absolutely helps me talk. And that's honestly one of the reasons I did these live streams is to actually talk to people. Like a lot of my followers on TikTok, I don't think they actually want to interact with me. That's what I like about YouTube is a lot of these subscribers subscribe to me, so they do want to interact with me. Or more of them do. Yes, I did change my at. I changed the at to Shadow Moonray when I decided that Shadow Moonray was going to be my final name. I would have changed it sooner, but it does limit how many times you could change it. Like right now, if you go to my Facebook, it still says my Facebook still has it changed it? No, it still says Sunray my Facebook. Because again, that 60-day rule. But that will change to Shadow too. Basically, everything will change to Shadow now. Because that's the one persona, that's the persona I'm going full blast with. Until this guy becomes someone else, and I get the full fursuit, that Shadow is the name that I'm going with. Everyone seemed to like it. I liked it. Basically, the name behind that is that when I was a child, my first talking animal movie was actually called Homeward Bound. And Homeward Bound had a golden retriever in it. At the time, I had a yellow lab, but my second dog was a golden retriever, and my third and my fourth. And it had a golden retriever in it that I absolutely loved. Guess what his name was? Shadow. So yeah, the main character. I just remembered that a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, no, my name's got to be Shadow. After the first ever talking dog that I saw. That was the first dog. It was not an animated movie. Believe it or not, an animated movie is not the first time I saw a talking dog. That wasn't my first talking animal, but the first ever talking dog was a real dog. It's interesting because if you ever watch the Homeward Bound movies, the dog's mouth don't move. So I remember seeing cats and dogs in their CGI mouths moving, and I was like, this is different. This is totally different than Homeward Bound, where it's really weird because if you go watch, you would swear that the dogs were talking. Their mouths don't move, but the dog actors are so wonderful in that movie that the voice actor is perfect. They're perfectly in sync. You would swear that they were saying something even though their mouths don't move. But yeah, I absolutely loved the Homeward Bound movie and the Homeward Bound sequel. So, and I love Shadow. So, I did actually a couple years ago, finally see The Incredible Journey, which is what Homeward Bound is based on. Literally called Homeward Bound The Incredible Journey because the original movie is called The Incredible Journey. Dogs don't talk in that one. There is a narrator, though. Fun fact. Ooh. Due to DistroKid. I don't understand that comment so much about changing the name. I will say this. My character is actually a funny story about that. The species of my character in my TV show, I could kind of make it here. For now, I just say he's a wolf, but Shadow is technically, I call him, one of his original names instead of Moonray was Moon Wolf, because Moon Wolf is sort of the species that I created. Their original names were actually man wolves, but two things came to mind when I said man wolf. First of all, that doesn't sound very inclusive, especially since there were female man wolves, but that sounded weird. Second of all, there actually turned out to be a DC character named Man Wolf. So I was like, okay, yeah, we definitely got to change that. So it became Moon Wolf. I didn't want to say werewolf. It's a little scary because were means moon, but Moon Wolf, werewolf, different, Because the whole story of them is that nothing about a werewolf applies to them. I've been thinking maybe I'd tell that story here on the YouTube channel someday. But the whole basic thing of that TV show was nothing about a werewolf applies to a moon wolf, except apparently, and they didn't know this until the main character comes into play, but biting a human can actually turn you into a moon wolf. But I was going to explain this whole thing about how it only works if the human is willing to and everything like that. So, any last minute questions? Because I think I'm going to end it for now. As I said, I do plan to go live tomorrow night. Once my access is restored, assuming that it gets restored, I do plan to go live on TikTok. This video will stay up here on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them on either say on the week 8 video or this one, and I'll check those. And next time we do a live stream, I'll do more Q&A, or maybe at the week 9 video, I'll look and see what questions have been asked that I've answered. But I will say a lot of questions that I've been asking here, I have answered in great detail. I don't have a problem repeating it, but if you go back and look at some of my videos that I already have up, they have been answered in even greater detail there. All right, well, thanks for we got 13 likes. I'm going to call it a night for now. For an hour and 16 minutes. Wow. That was definitely longer than I go for. Again, don't tell anyone on TikTok this, but I had a better time doing this live stream than I did on any of the TikTok live streams. Even that last one last night. We didn't get any haters in here. Just everyone's very respectful. Yep. I did. I had a great time. So, see you out there, fellow furries. Or if you're not a furry, then thank you for watching.